If Orlando happens to give you a piece of paper, don't pocket it or anything, just hold on to it. You are a bush. Over yonder, those are our restrooms. We've done our best to make them better than they are. But there will be limitations during intermission. In this case, because we're in the nice open, feel free to sneak over if you have to. If you have not already done so, Miss Leslie over there has programs. She has refreshments if you did not bring any, and also she will be happy to take any of your donations. Oh, here's one.
Once upon a sometime, there lived a caring and honorable duke who presided over a territory on the edge of the great forest of Arden. His jealous and insecure brother Frederick seized on an opportunity to take power and rule, as he longed to do, banishing his brother into the forest. In this court there was a family by the name of Du Bois, with 3 children, Oliver, Jacques, and Orlando. They were also experiencing some family challenges, and so we begin our story in their family garden, now belonging to Oliver.
What make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir. Very well.
Know you before whom, sir?
Aye. Better than him I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the same gentle condition of blood, you should so know me. The courtesy of our nations allows you my better, in that you are the firstborn. But the same traditions take not away my blood. Weren't there 20 brothers betwixt us? Come, elder brother, you are too young in this!
And what wilt thou do? Lay hands on me, villain!
I am no villain! I am the youngest son of Sir Roland Du Bois. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take my hand from thy throat before ripping out thy tongue for saying so.
Sweet masters, be patient. For your father's remembrance, be at accord.
My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You've trained me like a peasant, hiding and obscuring me from all gentlemanlike qualities. My father's spirit grows strong in me. I will no longer endure it. So please, give me such exercises as I may become a gentleman. Or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that, I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. You shall have some part in your will. Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog my reward? Most true I have lost teeth in your service. God be with my old master, he would not have spoke such a word.
You wrestle before the new duke.
Marry do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with a matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him.
Well, Sir Charles, he will practice upon poison. He will entrap thee by some treacherous device. You got this.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. I hope I shall see end of him. Well, there and forth he doth commend me. But this wrestler shall clear all.
The next day we find Rosalind, the daughter of the banished Duke, on the lawn of the palace, trying to face her future with her understanding cousin Celia, the daughter of Frederick.
Sweet Rosalind, be merry. Celia, I show more mirth than I mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier, unless you could teach me to forget a banished father.
You know that my father has no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he hath taken from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will, and when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my dear Rose, my sweet Rose, be merry.
Why, what shall be our sport then? How now, wit? Whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
Madame Lebeau, what's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport of what color?
What color, madam? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destinies decree.
Well said. That was laid on with a trowel.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
But what is the sport, madam, which the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It's the first time ever I heard that the breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Or I promise you.
But is there else longs to see broken music in his sides? Is there yet another that dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they're ready to perform it.
Yonder. Oh, sure, they are coming. Let us now stay and see it.
How now, daughter and cousin? Hast thou crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
Thou wilt take little delight in it, I can assure you. There's such odds in the man. In pity of the childish youth, I would fain dissuade him, but speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. We pray you for your own sake to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, good sir. Your reputation will therefore not be misprized. We shall make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
Now, I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. For let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein if I be foiled, but one shamed, never gracious. If it one killed, but one dead, who was willing to be so. I shall do my friends no harm, for I have none whom lament me. The world no injury, for in it I only take up a place, which may be better supplied once I've made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine to eke out hers.
Fare you well.
Come! Where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother earth?
Ready, sir?
You shall try but one fall.
You should not have mocked me.
Now, Hercules, be thy speed, young man! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, excellent, young man!
No more, no more. How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, youngest son of Sir Roland de Boyce.
Wouldst thou had been son to some man else? The world did esteem thy father honorable, but I did find him mine enemy. Thou wouldst have better pleased me with this deed had thou descended from another house.
My father, he loved Sir Roland, all his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind.
My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved.
Wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but her hands lacks means.
Can I not say I thank you?
Did you call, sir? Sir! Sir! You wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies. Will you go, cuz?
Oh, Orlando, thou art overthrown.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause, and love.
Oh, thank you. And pray, tell me this. To which of the daughters was the daughter of the Duke that was here at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but indeed the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, here detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late this Duke hath taken displeasure against his gentle niece. For no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues, and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your counsel. From the smoke unto the smother. From a tyrant duke unto a tyrant brother. Oh, but heavenly Rosalind.
A short time later, we find the cousins in the garden. And just like Orlando has his mind on Rosalind, Rosalind has his mind on Orlando. Has her mind on Orlando.
Why, Rosalind, Cupid have mercy, not a word?
Not one to throw at a dog.
But is all this for your father?
No. Some of it is for my child's father.
Let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible on such a sudden that thou should fall into old Sir Roland's youngest son?
Well, my father, the Duke, did love his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that thou should love his son dearly?
Mistress! Dispatch you with your safest haste and get thee from my court!
Me, uncle.
You, cousin, if thou be found within 20 miles of my court within 10 days, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let not the knowledge of my fault bear with me never so much in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor.
You are your father's daughter, there's enough!
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else with her father had she ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay, but now I know her. Why, if she be traitor, so am I. Still we have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, eat, played together, and wheresoever we went, still like Juno's swans, we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee. Her smoothness and her very silence and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. You are a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt seem more bright and show more virtuous when she is gone. Therefore, firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool! Eunice, provide yourself. If thou outstay the time, the greatness of my word, and upon my honor you die.
Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Prithee be cheerful. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not? Rosalind lacks then the love that teacheth thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven, say what thou canst, I'll go along with thee.
Why? Whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas! What danger would it be to us maids as we are to travel forth so far?
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of umber smirch my face. The like do you, and so we shall go along and never stir assailants.
Well, what if, cousin, because I am more than common strong, that I did suit me all the points like a man?
And what will I call you when thou art a man?
I will have no worse name than Jove's own page. And therefore, look, you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Aliena.
Cousin, what if we essayed to steal that clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be comfort to our travels?
He'll go along o'er the wide world with me. Let's away after my flight. Now go we in content to liberty and not to banishment.
That night, we find Orlando at his family, well, brother's home, deeply troubled on what to do next.
Who's there?
Oh, sweet master. Oh, you memory of old Sir Roland. Why, what make you here? Your brother? No brother. Yet the son, yet not the son, I will not call him son, hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it.
Why whither, Ada? Wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
This I will not do. Do how I can. I yet will be subjected to the malice of a diverted blood or a bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns of thrifty hire I saved under your father, and all of this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I am old, I am strong and lusty. I'll do the service of a younger woman.
Good old woman. You are not for the fashion of these times, where none sweat but for promotion. Come thy ways. We'll go along together.
And I will follow thee till the last gasp with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now, here lived I. But now, live here no more. At 17 years, many their fortunes seek, but many a fourscore is too late a week. Yet fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's debtor.
The next day, we find Frederick unpleased by the information delivered by one of his lords. And that would be me.
Can it be possible that no man saw them?
My lord, the Roynish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler. That did but lately foil the sinewy Charles, and she believes that wherever they are gone, the youth is surely in their company.
Send to his brother. Fetch that gallant hither. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and Inquisition quailed, to bring again these foolish runaways.
Later that day, we find our weary travelers, now dressed as Ganymede and Aliena, struggling with this sudden change in their lifestyle.
Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I cannot for my spirits if my legs were not weary.
I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel. Therefore, courage, good Aliena!
I pray you, bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I would rather bear with you than bear you.
And that is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, Thou canst not guess how I love her still.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Corin. Being old, thou canst not guess. But though in thy youth thou wast a true lover that ever sighed upon a midnight pillow, if thy love were ever like to mine, as I am sure no man ever did love so, how many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
But if thou canst not remember a single folly that love has drawn the heir to, thou hast not loved. If thou hast not sighed to thy hearer, about wearying thy hearer to thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved. And if thou hast not sat as I do now, or if thou hast not broke from thy companion abruptly, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe.
I pray you.
Oh, alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. We that are lovers run into strange capers. But as all of nature is mortal, so is all love in nature, mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art aware of.
Nay, I shall never beware mine own wit till I break my shin upon it.
Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine as well. But it grows somewhat stale with me.
I pray you. One of you question yond man. If he for gold will give us any food, I faint almost to death.
Hallo, you clown!
Peace, fool, he is not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
You're better, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even, friend.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I pray you, shepherdess, if but love and gold can in this desert place entertainment buy, bring us to where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here is a young maid who's traveled much oppressed and faints for succor.
I pity her, and for her sake, more than for mine own, I wish my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am the shepherd to another man, and I do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat, his flocks and bounds of feed are on sale and at our sheepcote now. By reason of his absence, there is nothing for you to feed on but what is. Come see.
I pray you, if it be with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place, and willingly could waste my time in it.
Go with me. If you like upon report the soil, the profit in this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Another day dawns, and we find the camp of the banished Duke and his fellow travelers, who are settling into their new ways.
Now, my siblings and co-mates in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from the burden of the perilous court? And this, our life in the woods, finds tongues in trees, books in the rumbling brook, sermons in stone, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy, but winter or rough weather.
I prithee more.
It will only make you melancholy, Master Jacques.
I thank it. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs.
More, I prithee, more. My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, another stanzo. You call them stanzos.
What you will, Master Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Well, then, if I ever thank any man, I'll thank you. Come, warble. I'll go sleep if I can. If I can't, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie
And spread a merry note unto a sweet bird's throat.
Nearby, we find Orlando and Ada struggling with how to go on as they traverse the forest.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, how I dive for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master. How now, Ada? No greater heart in thee? Live a little. I will either be food for it, or bring it for food to thee. Keep death at arm's end a while. Be comfortable for my sake. For if I cannot find thee something to eat, then I will give thee leave to die. I will bear thee to some shelter. I am so sorry. Thou shalt not die for lack of dinner. If there be anything live in this forest.
We return to the Duke's camp, where we find Jacques returning from a meeting with Touchstone.
Why, you look merrily.
A fool. A fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. A miserable world as I do live by food. I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and said very wisely, "It is 10 o'clock, and thus we may see," quoth he, "how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after an hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot, and thereby hangs the tale." When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to grow like a chanticleer. That fools should be so deep contemplative. Oh, that I were that fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgments of all opinions that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind to blow on whom I please. For so fools have. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Forbear, and eat no more.
Why, I have eaten none yet.
Nor shalt not, till my necessity be served.
And what kind should this cock come of?
Art thou a rude despiser of civility, or art thou thus boldened, man, by thy distress, that in civility thou seems so empty?
You touched my vein at first. But forbear, I say. He shall die who next touches this fruit, unless my necessities be answered.
And you will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What will thou have? Your gentleness will force more, then your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food, and let me have it.
Sit you down and eat.
speak you so gently? Pardon me. Methought everything here be savage. Let gentleness my strong enforcement be, for which I blush and hide my sword.
Then sit you down in gentleness.
With me, a poor old woman whom hath many wary step, followed me limped in pure love, oppressed with two evils, hunger and age. Till she first be sufficed, I will not touch a bit.
Go fetch her and bring her forth. Until you return, we will nothing waste.
I thank you. Thank you for your comfort.
You see, we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then
the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face,
creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths, bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon line, with eyes severed, beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose, pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. And his big manly voice turning again to a childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. The last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness, mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burthen and let her feed.
I thank ye, most for her.
So had you need, I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Fall to. Play music, good cousin. Sing.
Blow, blow thy winter wine. Thy truth art so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey ho, sing hey ho unto the holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Sing hey ho unto the holly. This life is most jolly.
Be most welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Good old woman, thou art right welcome as thy master is. Take her by the arm, give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
And now, with his fortunes better situated, we find Orlando turning to different concerns in the forest.
This is a beautiful forest. Plenty of trees. So my verse, in witness my love. Thy thrice crowned Queen of Night, from thy pale sphere above, survey with thy chaste eye thy huntress's name, that my full life doth sway. Rosalind. These trees shall be my books, and in their barks, my thoughts I'll character, wherein everyone who enters this forest shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Come, come, Orlando, carve on every tree. The beautiful, no, that's boring. The sweet, the fair. The fair. Ooh. The fair. The chaste. Chaste. Oh. The unexpressive. She.
And how like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect that it's a shepherd's life, it is not. Now, in respect that it is private, I like it very well. But in respect it is solitary, it is a very vile life. Now, in respect that it is in the fields, it pleases me well, but in respect it is not at court. It is tedious. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
None, but that I know the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is. That he who wants money, means, and content is without three good friends. That the property of rain is to wet, and fire to burn. That good pasture makes fat sheep, and that a great cause of the night is a lack of the sun.
A natural philosopher. Wast ever at court?
No, truly.
Oh, then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
Truly, thou art damned, like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at court? Your reason?
Why, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, thy manners must be wicked, and wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a perilous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Why, those that are good manners at the court are as mockable in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You say you salute not at the court, but you kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly, come, instance.
Why, we're still handling our ewes, and their fells, you know, are greasy.
Why, do not your courtiers' hands sweat?
Sir, I am a true laborer. Owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
There is another simple sin in you, to bring the ewes and rams together to offer to get your living by the copulation of cattle. Ugh.
From east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind through all the world bears Rosalind. All pictures fairly lined are but black to Rosalind. That's not good, not good. Keep no fair in mind, but that the fair of Rosalind.
Sweetest nut has sourest rind. Such a nut is Rosalind.
Peace, fool. I found them on the trees.
Truly, These trees bear bad fruit.
Here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For is it unpeopled? No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil saying show. Some how brief the life of man runs his erring pilgrimage, that the stretching of a span buckles in his sum of age. Some of violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend.
Come, shepherd, let's make an honorable retreat.
Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change your color?
I prithee who?
Oh, Lord, Lord.
Nay!
Is it possible?
Nay, who is it?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Nay,
and
with
most wonderful,
with
wonderful.
most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is. Does his head worth a hat, or his beard? Is it worth a beard?
Nay, he had but a little beard. It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Orlando. Alas the day, what should I do with my doublet and hose? Oh, well, how was he when thou sawest him? Well, what said he? How looked he? Where went he? Where is he? Does he remain here? Why is he here? Did he ask for me? Oh, how parted thee with thee, and when wilt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may as well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Good madam, give me audience.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Oh, though it be pity such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue. I prithee, it curvets unreasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
He's come to kill my heart!
I would sing my song without a burden. Thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. 'Tis he. Slink by and note him.
I thank you for your company, but good faith, I at least have been myself alone.
And so had I. But for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do prefer we may better be strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you, mar no more my verses by reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
As high as my heart.
You're full of pretty answers.
Not so, but I answer you right.
You have a nimble wit. Will you sit down with me and we two will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery?
I will chide no brethren in the world before myself, for whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis but a fault I would not change for your best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was looking for a fool when I met you.
Oh, he is drowned in the brook. Look but in and you shall see him.
There I shall see mine own figure. I'll tarry with you no longer. Farewell, good Signor Love.
Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forrester?
Aye, very well. Would you?
I pray you. What is o'clock?
You asked me what time of day? There's no clock in the forest.
Ah, then there's no true lover in the forest, else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy time afoot, as well as a clock.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With the shepherdess, my sister, here on the skirts of the forest like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place? Your accent, something so much finer you can purchase from so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, indeed. An old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who in his youth was an inland man. One that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. And I've heard him read many lectures against it, and I Thank God I am not a woman to be charged with so many giddy offenses he hath generally taxed their whole sex withal.
Can you recall any of the principal evils he laid upon women?
There were none principal. They're all like one another as halfpence are. Every one fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault comes to match it.
I prithee, recount some of them.
No, I will not cast aside my physique, but on those that are sick. There's a young man, haunts the forest, who abuses our young plants and trees by carving Rosalind in their barks. Hangs odes on hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. Oh, if I met this fancy monger, I'd give him some good counsel, for it appears he has the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped.
You have none of my uncle's marks upon you. He hath taught me how to know a man in love, and which cage of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. Then your hose being guarded, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are point well devised in your accoutrements, as seeming the lover of yourself than a lover of any other.
I could make thee believe I love?
Me believe it. You may as soon make her that you love believe it.
By the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
Well, are you as in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love, it's merely a madness, and I tell you, deserves a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason that they are not so punished and cured is the reason is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Have you ever cured any so?
Yeah. Well, one.
One?
In this manner, he was to imagine me his love, his mistress. And I set him every day to come and woo me. But at which time I would be a moodish youth, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears and full of smiles, for every passion something, and no passion truly for anything. As boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color, would now like him, then loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, then weep for him, then spit at him, that I drove my suitor from his mad humor of love into a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And I shall take it upon myself to wash thy liver clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there shall not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured so. Would not be cured.
I could cure you, if you but call me Rosalind, and come here every day and woo me.
By the faith of my love, I will.
Will you?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind.
While those two make playful conversation in the forest, we find that back at the palace, Oliver has been brought before Frederick. Once he has had his say, we will take an intermission from your company.
Not seen him since? Sir, sir, that cannot be. Find out thy brother wheresoe'er he is. Seek him with candle.
bring him dead or living. Thy lands and all things that thou dost call thine do we seize into our hands, till thou canst quit thee by thy brother's mouth. What we think against thee?
I've never loved my brother a day in my life.
More villain thou.
And with that, we'll invite you guys to take a 15-minute intermission. Feel free to grab some beverages. We have the facilities for your use, and we will be back in about 15 minutes.
Hello, everyone! Alrighty, welcome back. In another part of the forest, we find that Touchstone has discovered a delightful country wench, and she pleases him greatly.
How now, Audrey? I will fetch up thy goats for thee, Audrey. Am I the man yet, Audrey? Do my simple features content you?
Your features? Lord warrant us, what features?
I am here with thee and thy goats as the most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was amongst the Goths. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest indeed in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry, and what they say in poetry may be said they do feign.
Do you wish then that I was poetical?
I do, truly, for thou swearest to me thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might hope thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, unless you were hard-favored, for honesty coupled with beauty is what honey is sauce to sugar.
Well, I'm not fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Truly, and to cast away honesty upon a foul slut were to put unclean meat into a clean dish.
I am not a slut, though I think the gods I am foul.
Well, praise be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter. But be it as it may be, to that end I will marry thee. And to that end I have been with the vicar of the next village, who has agreed to meet me here in the forest and to join us together.
I would fain to see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Courage, as horns are odious, they are necessary. You are well met, sir. Will you couple us here, or shall we join you at your church?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not accept her on gift of any man.
Truly she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed, I'll give her.
Good evening, master. What do you call it? How do you do, sir? You are very well met. Good to see you. Even a toy in hand, sir. Nay, prithee, be covered.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the horse has his curve, sir, and the ox her bells, and the falcon her curb, so hath man his desires, and as pigeons bill, so wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush, like a beggar? Get you to a church and have you a priest that can tell you what marriage is.
I'm not of the mind that it were better to be married of him than of another, but he is not likely to marry me well, and being not well married, it'll be a good excuse for me hereafter to leave my wife.
Go thou with me, let me counsel thee.
Back now with our cousins, we find Ganymede is frustrated with the promptness of Orlando, But soon we'll find other challenges.
Do not speak to me, I will weep.
Do, I prithee, and yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
Why did he say that he come this morning, and comes not?
Nay, there is certainly no truth in him.
You don't think so? Not true in love?
Yes, when he is in, but I think that he is not in.
You heard him swear downright this morning he was!
Was is not is.
Mistress and master, you have often inquired after the poor shepherd who complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, and what of him?
If you will see a pageant of true love, go hence a little and I shall conduct you.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me, do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but first begs the pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eye? 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable that eyes, which are the frailest, softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now, I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes could wound, now let them kill thee. Now counterfeit to swoon, why now fall down? And if thou canst not, then for shame, why not and say mine eyes are murderers? Scratch thee but with a pin, there remains some scar of it. Lean upon a rush, and the cicatrice and incapable pressure thy palm some moment keeps, but mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor do I think there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
If that ever may be near, if you meet in love's cheek the power of fancy, then you shall know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But until that time, come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks. Pity me not, for when that time comes, I shall not pity thee. And why? I pray you, who might be your mother, that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What? Though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than candle may go dark to bed. Must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why? Why do you look on me? Why? What are you doing? Odes my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No! Faith. Proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brow, your black silk hair, your bugle eyebrows, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spears to your worship. You foolish shepherd. Wherefore do you follow her? You are 1,000 times a proper man than she a woman. 'Tis you that flatters her, not her glass. Oh, but mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer.
Sweet youth, I pray you chide a year together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
You've fallen in love with her foulness. Oh, and she'll fall in love with my anger. I pray thee, mistress, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine, and besides, I like you not. Dead shepherd, now thy saw of might,
Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Oh, if thou hast sorrow there, sorrow for my grief and love. If you have sorrow and my grief for love, then give me love. Then your sorrow and my grief are both extermined. Huh?
Thou hast my love. Is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Knowest now the youth that spoke to me erstwhile?
I know him not well, but I have seen him oft.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well. But what care I for words? And yet words do well when he who speaks them pleases those that hear. Oh, he is a pretty youth. Not very pretty. And sure, he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. He will make a proper man. Oh, the best thing in him was his complexion. And as fast as his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall. Yet for his years, he's tall. His leg is but so-so, yet it's well. There was a pretty redness in his lip. A little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheeks. 'Twas just the difference betwixt the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. Yeah. No, for my part, I love him not. Nor hate him not. Yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. Mm-hmm. For what had he to do to chide at me? He told me my eye was black and my hair black. And now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. It's all well, omittance is no quittance. I shall write to him a very taunting letter. And thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
With all my heart.
Good. I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I shall be bitter quick and passing short. Go with me, Silvius.
At a nearby small farm, we find Touchstone needing to further clear his path to his chosen Audrey. Oh, hold on. I'm that impediment.
Patience, gentle Audrey. We shall find a time, Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough for the old gentleman saying.
Me hear there's a youth in the forest lays claim to you.
He hath no interest me in the world.
It is meat and drink for me to see a clown.
Good even, Audrey.
Good even, William.
And good even to you, sir.
Good even. Cover the head. Nay, prithee, be covered. How old art thou, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
A ripe age. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
A fair name. Was born in the forest here?
Aye, sir. I thank God.
Thank God. Good answer. Art thou rich?
Faith, sir. So-so.
So-so is good. Very good. Very excellent good. And yet it is not. It is but so-so. Art thou wise?
Aye, sir. I have a pretty wit.
Oh, thou sayest it well. I do now recall a phrase. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure of rhetoric that drink, being poured out of a glass, to fill a cup by emptying one, doth fill the other, for all your writers do agree that Ipsy is he. Now you are not he, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon the society of this female clown. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore, depart.
Do good, William.
God rest you merry, sir.
My pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you're a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are in extremity of either are abominable fellows and betray themselves to every modern sense are worse than drunkards.
Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why then, 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, okay, nor the musicians, which is fantastical, nor the soldiers, which is ambitious, nor the lawyers, which is politic, nor the ladies, which is nice, nor the lovers, which is all of these, but is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundries of my often rumination of my travels wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveler. By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold all your lands to see other mans. To see much and have nothing is to have rich eyes but poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
Well, I would rather a fool make me merry than experience make me sad. And to travel for it, too.
Good day. My fair Rosalind.
Ah, nay, then God be with you. And you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Monsieur Traveler. Why? How now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover, and serve me such another trick. Come no more in my sight.
My dear Rosalind, I came within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love.
Pardon me. I pray you, sweet Rosalind.
Nay, and you be so tardy. Come no more in my sight. I had as lief been wooed of a snail.
A snail?
Aye, a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. And I am your Rosalind. It pleases him to call you so, and yet he has a Rosalind of a better leer than you. But come, woo me. Woo me. For now I'm in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now when I was your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Best you speak first. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take much pleasure to say you are, for then I would be speaking of her.
Why then, in her person, I will not have you.
Then in mine own person, I die.
Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my Rosalind of this mind, for I protest, her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it will not kill a fly. But, come. Now I will be your Rosalind, but in a more coming-on disposition. Ask me what you will, and I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
Aye. Faith will I, Fridays, Saturdays, and all.
And wilt thou have me?
I and 20 as such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Why, can one desire too much of a good thing? Sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hands, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
I pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words.
You must begin, will you, Orlando?
Go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
I do take thee, Orlando, to be my husband. Tell me, how long will you have her after you have possessed her?
Forever. And a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they wed, when they woo. December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I would be more jealous of thee than a Barbary-cocked pigeon over his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my offenses than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, like Diana in the fountain, and will do so when thou art disposed to be merry. I will laugh like a hyena, and do so when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
I mean, by my life, she will do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise. For these 2 hours, I take thee leave.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
By 2 o'clock we'll be together again.
Aye. Go your ways. Go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. But your flattering tongue hath won me. 2 o'clock will be your hour.
2 o'clock.
You have simply misused our sex in your love prate.
Cuz, my pretty little cuz, didst thou know how many fathom deep I am in love? But it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal. Oh, I tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I shall find a shadow and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep. Oh, look who comes here.
My errand is with you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not of its contents, but I know by her stern brow and the waspish nature she did use by the writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. But, pardon me, I am but a guiltless messenger.
Wilt thou hear the letter?
Oh, so beg your pardon, for I have not heard it yet have heard much of Phoebe's cruelty.
Mark how the tyrant writes.
Art thou God shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned?
Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy godhead laid apart, warst thou with a woman's heart?
Did you ever hear such a railing?
While the eyes of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me.
I mean, meaning me a beast.
If the scorn of your bright eyne have the power to raise such love in mine, alack, in me what strange effect would thy work in mild aspect? Whilst you chide me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee little knows this love in me, and by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd.
Wilt thou have such a woman? What? to make thee an instrument and play false strains upon thee. Not to be endured.
Be endured.
Why, then go to her. For I have seen that love hath made thee a tame snake. And say this to her. If she love me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I will never have her unless thou entreat for her. Now, if you be a true lover, hence, and not a word.
And so they wait. And 2 hours come, 2 hours go. But wait, who comes here?
Pray you if you know. wherein the pearliest of the forest stands, with sheep-coated fences and olive trees.
West of this place, in the neighbor bottom, down by the murmuring stream, there's a rank of oysters. Left on your right hand brings you to the place, but at this hour the house doth keep itself. There's none within.
If that an eye is spoken by tongue, do I know you? Are you the owner of this house that I did inquire for?
It is no boast being asked to say we are.
Orlando doth commend me for you both. In his youth, he calls for Rosalind. He sends his bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Well, we were upon a cave, and we fought a lioness. He doth commend me with this bloody napkin, and sent me here to tell you both. But he woke up, and he assumed that it was me, his older brother.
Was you that he rescued?
Was you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
Twice it was I. He has taken down the lioness. But therefore, he was hurt, he was injured, he was slain by his arm.
Enemy!
Tell your brother how well I counterfeited. Hey ho!
Counterfeit well, man.
So I do. It was counterfeit, I assure you. But by faith, I should have been made a woman by right.
Come, you look paler and paler.
The next day, we find a lovely clearing where the brothers have reconciled.
Aliena. 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 She doth love me, and I doth love her. I think I will stay here and be a shepherd until I live and die.
Go to. Your wedding will be tomorrow. Thither I'll invite the Duke, all his contented followers. Go, you. Prepare Aliena.
Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It's my arm.
I thought it was thy heart that had been wounded by the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Hi. For your brother, my sister, no sooner met but they looked, no sooner looked but they loved, no sooner loved but they sighed, no sooner sighed but asked one another the reason, no sooner knew the reason but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees they have made a pair of stairs to marriage.
They'll be married tomorrow. I bid the Duke to the nuptial. Oh, but how bitter a thing it is to look at happiness through another man's eyes. For tomorrow I will be at the height of heart heaviness as I look upon my brother as he has all that he wishes for.
Why then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can no longer live by thinking.
I'll weary you then no longer with idle talking. Believe then thou, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have since been 3-year-old conversed with a magician, most profound in his art and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind, so near to heart as your gesture cries it out, tomorrow when your brother marries Aliena, you shall marry her. For I know into what strains of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible for me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before you tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
If you be married tomorrow, you shall. And to Rosalind, if you will.
Youth, you have done me much ungentleness to share the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem ungentle and despiteful towards you. You are therefore followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him. Love him. He worships you.
Shepherd, tell this youth what it is to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears. And so am I to Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosamond.
And so am I for no woman.
It is to be made of faith and tears, and so am I to Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosamond.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all passion, all adoration, all duty and observances. It is to be made of all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all purity, all trial, and all observances. And so am I to Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosamond.
Oh, and so am I for no woman.
If this be true, then what blame me you to blame me?
What? If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why you blame me to love you?
Who do you speak to?
Wait.
Why blame me you to love you?
For her doth not hear, nor here.
I pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. Look, I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, meet here all together. I will marry you if ever I marry a woman, and I will be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if ever I satisfied a man, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Phoebe, meet. As you love Rosalind, meet. And as I love no woman, I'll meet. Therefore go. I have left you all commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
And now we find the next day, in that same clearing, our resolution.
Shall we move this stump?
It might be in the way of the wedding.
Very good. Very good. Maybe we'll move this tree too. Dost thou believe, Orlando, that this youth can do all that they promised?
I sometimes do. For those that hope, they fear. And for those that fear, they hope.
I sometimes did see in this shepherd boy some touches of my daughter's favor.
In earnest, when I first saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter.
There is sure another flood coming. Here come another couple of very strange beasts coming to the ark.
I like it very well.
Salutations and greetings to you all. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and forswear, according to marriage binds and blood breaks, a poor virgin, sir, an ill-favoured thing, but mine own, a poor humour of mine, sir, to take that which no man else will.
Is this not a rare fellow, my lord? He's good at anything and yet a fool.
Then there is mirth in heaven, when earthly things made even atone together. Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou mightest join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor never wed any woman if you be not she.
Yeah, settle in.
You and you no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are sure together, as the winter to foul weather.
Let me have audience for a word or two. I am the second child of old Sir Roland that bring these tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power which were on foot, and of his own conduct purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword, where meeting with an old religious man after some question with him, was converted both from his enterprise and from the world, his crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again that were with him exiled. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Welcome, youth. Thou offerest fairly to thy brother's wedding. First, in this forest, let us do those things that were here well begun and well begot. And after, all of those that have spent shrewd days and nights with me shall share in our newfound returned fortune. Meantime, let's forget this newfound dignity and fall into rustic revelry. Play music, brides and bridegrooms all, with measures heaped in joy. Let the measure fall.
Sir, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath put on a religious life and thrown into neglect the pompous court.
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these convertites, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You, to your former honor, I bequeath. Your patience and your virtue well deserves it. So, to your pleasures, I am further than for dancing measures.
But stay, Jaques, stay.
To see no pastime you would have, I'll stay to know at your abandoned cave.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites, and trust they will end in true delights.
Woo! It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it's no more handsome to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, why, it's true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet, to good wine they do use good bushes. So, good plays prove all the better with good epilogues. My way is to conjure you. And I'll start with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much as this play that please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering that none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you that had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breaths that defied me not. As I am sure that many have good beards and good complexions and sweet breaths will. For my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.